While Paper Mario Sticker Star is a notoriously bad game, there are actually a lot of pretty good things about the game. However, there is one thing that honestly just feels unforgivable. This game never tells you what an action command is. That's right, the thing that helps you deal practically double, triple, or even like a multiple of 10 amounts of damage, and also the thing that lets you block damage. Yeah, they never let you know it exists. And this wouldn't be so bad because, it's been in previous games, so people have probably seen it before. Except for the fact that the previous game, which was the most sold Paper Mario game of all time, didn't have action commands. So, most of the people who had played a Paper Mario game were probably never told what an action command was going into Sticker Star. So, there was absolutely a world where some parent bought their kid the game, the kid didn't know that action commands existed, and then they put the game down because it was just too hard. But that made me think, would it actually be too hard? Could I beat Paper Mario Sticker Star without any action commands? The start of the game goes as normal. Bowser shows up, Mario tries to attack him, and he gets folded. So after unfolding, meeting Kirsty, and saving some toads, I run around and grab some stickers to prepare for my first fight. This first battle is pretty easy, but it does show an immediate problem. Every single hammer sticker is basically useless. While using an action commandless jump still gives you about 70% of the damage you would get, using a hammer just kind of does nothing. Without ever pressing A, the end of the hammer just falls off and you just whack them with a stick. With action commands, this is a cool system of risk-reward, where to get the max damage you have to risk missing the timing and getting 1 damage. Even so, 3 jump stickers is enough to defeat them. So, I head to 1-1. As we enter, I grab a few random stickers, grab the scissors thing sticker, and enter a battle with Bowser Jr. Now thankfully, they knew that they hadn't told the players what an action command is, so they made the scissors do exactly enough damage to kill without action commands. After defeating Bowser Jr., I continue through the level and run into our next little mini-boss, 3 pointy Goombas. Now these guys are basically the same as the 3 Goomba fight from earlier, so they are pretty easy. Wait. Oh my gosh. So you remember how I said hammers suck? Yeah, hammers are currently our only way to deal with folded Goombas. And as you know, those do 1 damage. So the challenge has already hit a brick wall, and there isn't really an obvious answer. Without the ability to guard, using an action command, these guys deal so much damage to us. And while I do have access to healing stickers in the Decalburg shop, I don't really have the money for it right now, and it honestly feels a little silly to have to buy like 10 mushroom stickers just to slowly get through this battle with 1 damage hits. But there's actually a different, much cooler solution. In the same room where we fought Bowser Jr., there is a stump. This stump has a paperized block slot above it, and paperized blocks are our ticket out of this roadblock. When you put a sticker onto a paperized block location, this will change the sticker inside of it to one of 4 things depending on what the sticker was. While more often than not you end up getting a shiny jump sticker after putting a regular jump sticker into it, there is a small chance that you get an iron jump. Iron jump is the only jump sticker that has the ability to jump on spiny enemies. Even with this, the chance to get an iron jump is way less than I initially thought. I don't know what the actual rarity is, but at 3 times speed, I spent almost an hour getting just 3 iron jumps. In the process, I got about 25 shiny jumps and 10 hammers. So yeah, iron jump is pretty rare. But after all that, I go back into the battle, and I'm now able to use 1 iron jump on each Goomba to finish the fight and finally beat our first level. Oh yeah, also, I grabbed the scissors thing on the way out. World 1-2 is much easier than 1-1, and finally gives us an easy way to get ourselves some iron jumps. I say finally like this isn't literally the second level of the game. Anyway, in this level we find another thing. We also find a toad being bullied by some Goombas, so we help him out to get another thing for our troubles. Finally, we run into a battle against 5 Goombas, and Kirsty gives us our first tutorial of the game. Here, we learn about the Battle Spinner, something that lets us use multiple stickers in the same turn. Now, while we do actually get a tutorial for this one, it still kind of feels like an action command in some capacity, so while I could allow it for this challenge, I will not unless it is absolutely necessary. And the Goombas are really easy, like we don't really have to talk about them. They're not Pokey or anything, so I can just jump on them. In 1-3, we run into Kamek, but nothing about the fight is all that difficult. I take out Kamek's lackeys and then jump on Kamek to defeat him. After this, I run around, grab some more stickers, and then save Bowser from an overconsumption of water. This gives me the faucet and I end the level. In 1-5, I find a Lakitu and discover that while you can never enter battle with a Lakitu in this game, you can actually kill one, meaning that this is the only way you see its death animation. With that cool fun fact out of the way, we watch a pretty neat domino effect, and we end the level. After completing 1-5, I decide maybe I should go ahead and unlock 1-4. And while I do go ahead and unlock it by leaving 1-3 through a different exit, I don't really do anything in this level until later. With these levels out of the way, we now have access to the boss. But I really want to use some of these cool things that I have found. Luckily for me, we now have access to Sling-A-Thing, the place where you can have Mario throw these like he's a professional football player. This could be a reference to either of them, mind you, just so you know. Once I get all my things in order, I head to 1-6 and begin battle against the Mega Sparkle Goomba. The battle starts off simple, with me hitting the group of Goombas with some Shiny Jump stickers. What do you call a group of Goombas anyway? A gaggle? A cluster? Anyway, after 2 jump attacks, the Goombas fuse to become the true Mega Sparkle Goomba. In this form, the Goomba takes half damage, meaning that my jumps are only doing 3 instead of the 6 that they were doing before. This form of the Goomba is also able to change its form into a spike, making me unable to jump on him with anything other than an iron jump, which does a measly 1 damage. But after he attacks a couple more times, and I heal up, he kind of becomes a little bit flimsy. All the guys are kind of spinning around, not really connected anymore. And when he's like this, he is incredibly vulnerable to my fans. No, not you guys. Well, actually, I mean, maybe I would be effective. Anyway, I use the fan and it knocks all the Goombas into the air, separating them and giving me the ability to deal damage again. And holy, they really want you to be able to damage this thing after using the fan. Sadly, even when I leave him at 1 HP, I do have to fully kill him to get him into his final phase. And in doing so, his Goomba goons leave the fight. Goombas? Wait, no, never mind. With him alone, he kinda just dies. This gives me the first of 6 royal stickers and adds a 4th page to my sticker book. After I complete this world, I go back to 1-2 to get another fan thing and plant some flowers. This makes the toad nearby give me an HP up heart. These hearts give me 5 more max HP and also some extra damage, but it doesn't really matter. The health is the important part. Now, onto World 2. I open up the door that requires 6 specific stickers to pass, and then head on through. This level doesn't have much in terms of cool new stickers for us, but we do run into a toad getting bullied by some Paragoombas. And I decide to just pay them off. He gives me a shiny mushroom sticker, which honestly, I don't think it's gonna matter too much. I do grab a 1-up mushroom, which is a really solid sticker. These don't do what you would expect though, as unlike previous Mario games, this is not a life shroom. It's a 1-up. So obviously, instead of an extra life, you get passive life. Yeah, I don't know either. In this level, I also grab a soda can, a puzzle piece, and an HP up heart. 2-2 is cool as it is one of my favorite areas in the game. The Yoshi Sphinx doesn't really have too much immediately for us, but near the end of the level, I get spotted by a group of paratroopas. And they honestly hurt a lot. The first one goes down in 2 shiny jump stickers, but I lost almost my entire health bar from them attacking during that process. So I guess that shiny mushroom was actually pretty useful. It gets me back to max HP, and after taking some more hits, I take down the rest before I have to heal again, leaving me at 2 HP. Before continuing through the level, I fall off the back of the Sphinx to grab another HP up heart, and then I reach the top again. Here I grab a light bulb, pop out the front of Yoshi's eyes, and run into Kamek again. And he sucks for the rest of this challenge. He turns all of our stickers into slippers. Normally, this honestly isn't too bad because I can generally just kinda destroy him anyway, because these slippers are actually pretty solid stickers. Well, destroying him in the loose sense of the word. I actually wasn't doing that well because early on I was kinda trying to use the normal rarity slippers to save on my better ones. But then I got put to sleep by Kamek and realized this fight is way harder than I thought, especially since Kamek can float into the air, making it impossible to damage him. After having lost 10 HP after only doing 5 back to Kamek, I realized I needed to use the better stickers. Normal slippers do 1, shinies do 2, and flashies do 4. So I use a flashy to start catching up in damage. On turns where Kamek is in the air, I use the basic slipper stickers since I can't do damage anyway, so I'm just going to use the worst versions. After a while of Kamek being off the ground and me being unable to hit him, I realized I was not taking this guy seriously enough. So I pull out my Mega Flash Sandal to do a massive 6 damage. And it was kind of sad that it wasn't 7 because then that would have helped me not be as close to death. Like I ended on like 2 HP. That was actually really close and an extra damage would have been great. But Kamek doesn't kill me in time, so I slap him one more time and grab the puzzle piece to end the level. 2-3 is slowly becoming an easier level for me, as after like 5 playthroughs of this game in the past year, I'm actually remembering the path to take. I grab another HP up, then grab a magnifying glass, a jackhammer, and a baseball bat. Then at the end of the level, I make my way across some precarious blocks to grab our first instance of the Clone Jump sticker. This is one of the best stickers in this game, possibly even being the best sticker in this challenge. But we'll get to that in a little bit. With half of World 2 done, I head to the pier to grab a vacuum and yet another HP up heart. I sling some things, vacuum up a sandstorm, and return an oasis to its former glory. Wait a second, how do you suck up a sandstorm? Is the wind from the vacuum really strong enough to cause a meteorological shift? Well, wait, no, I guess that would make sense actually. Never mind. In the oasis, I grab my last puzzle piece, grab some shaved ice, and continue into 2-5. Here, I place all the puzzle pieces and then head into the giant tower that forms. Well, actually, before I do that, I prep some more by slinging some more things and then head up to get started against the Tower Power Pokey. This fight is very interesting. While the Pokey has 5 sections, including its head, it immediately drops down into the sand and hides all of its segments. Something I could have mentioned earlier is that at the start of bosses and some mini-bosses, the game forces us into using the battle spinner. There's no way out of this as waiting literally does nothing. So I am just going to play this challenge as if I don't get it every time. Even if I do accidentally get like an extra sticker slot, I just won't use that slot. On turn 1, I use my flashy clone jump and it does like no damage. This is due to bosses having a royal sticker defense buff that makes them tankier. But don't let this make you think that the clone jump sucks. It's sick. Overall, this boss kinda sucks without action commands. Action commands for attacks are, nice, but they don't add too much damage for a decent number of attacks. But no action commands does cause the issue of never being allowed to guard. This wouldn't be so bad, except for the fact that many enemies cause guaranteed statuses when you miss the action command against them. And this Pokey is no different. He summons 2 Pokeys, which I deal with some shaved ice, but then the Tower Power Pokey body slams me, which crumples me. Statuses in this game are awful, but none are worse than crumple. This status counts as both a stun and damage amplification. So, I am stunned for 2 turns and take twice as much damage during those turns. I have taken so much damage, but each turn he raises another segment out of the ground, and after 4 turns, he is finally fully raised up. And with that, it is my opportunity. I pull out my baseball bat that I found in 2-3, and I hit a home run on every single segment. And what's even better, this boss doesn't just have 1 health bar. Each of his segments has 50 HP, and the head has 100. Even without the use of action commands, I end up doing the exact amount of damage that I would have done anyway, as I launch each segment completely away from the battle, causing him to immediately lose 200 max HP. In the following turns, I spray him with some soda, shake him down with a jackhammer, send him flying with a fan, and finally I cut him to shreds with some scissors. This again gives us another royal sticker, and a 5th page to the sticker album. And now, World 3. I use my musical talent to wake up Wiggler and head into the world. The first level is very uneventful, and other than Wiggler getting snatched by a tentacle, we only have a battle against 2 Boomerang Bros. I start the battle with a shiny POW block, and immediately go into a Spike Ball to take out Boomer 1. Boomer 2 is also no match for me, as with another Spike Ball and a shiny jump, he goes down as well. And now we head into 3-2, the Bafflewood. They really wanted this to be a Lost Woods reference, huh? For the first time ever, I was actually going around and trying to find stickers that I thought would be valuable for me. But as I said before, I've figured this game out. I know exactly what direction I need to go at every turn. Cut the cameras. So after escaping from the Bafflewood, I run into Wiggler's treehouse. Here I get some new shoes and a boombox, both of which are incredibly useful at some point in this challenge. Wiggler seems to be having some family issues as most of his family ran away from home, so I'm gonna give him a little bit of space for now. We head to 3-4, and honestly, it's still so annoying to me. Like, you go through the level searching for the Wiggler segment, and most of the places are pretty easy to find. But the second to last location is almost impossible if you missed looking at the right side of the screen for the split second that you could see the Wiggler segment. Because if you missed it, well, too bad, you gotta search for half a pixel on a 400 by 240 pixel screen. Anyway, I grab the segment and head to the next level. some of the enemies in this level absolutely suck in no action commands, as to block their attacks it involves mashing, and if you don't mash, you get guaranteed stunned for 2 turns. But I just try to dodge these fights so I don't have to deal with them. And if I do run into them, generally I can just run away, because running away doesn't really involve an action command at all, even if it looks like it does. We find the Wiggler piece with some butterflies, and when I try to join in this moment of tranquility, he crashes out and attacks me. Now these guys are annoying because they have the ability to dodge most attacks. But I get lucky and my last spike ball and a shell defeat him without him dodging. With this Wiggler in tow, I just head to 3-6, where a lot opens up to us. The Stored Outlook Point is the only place you can buy the Secret Door sticker. They have an absolute monopoly on it. This sticker allows you to access the incredibly powerful Secret Door rooms. These rooms contain anything from strong stickers to HP up hearts and a multitude of things for us to use. With some doors available, I head back to Wiggler's tree to return the segment and then head around to open up one specific room. The secret door in 1-1 houses a thumbtack, but then I get another pair of scissors and head back to Outlook Point to grab some strong big shiny jump stickers to prep for our next mini-boss. I head to the pier, grab a steering wheel, cut a rope, and then fish up a big one. The big shiny jump stickers are great at dealing damage to this guy, so I hit the fish and it immediately jumps in the water to heal. But before this battle, I slung a few things. And I also got the hook thing from the same place that I bought the doors from. So I immediately fish it back up with my hook thing, and it begins to inflate. Each time the fish inflates, it will do more and more damage to me, and after 4 turns, it will explode, dealing 99 damage. But I can pop it early. By using the thumbtack from 1-1, you can pop the fish on your first turn after you fish it out, causing it to only deal 30 damage, and it leaves me at 2 HP. This allows me to access chapters 4 and 5. I start up 5-1 because I want to gain access to a specific location. In the level, I clean up some trash and then find a toy bat, a powder puff, some tailor shears, and an HP up heart. The tailor shears are incredible, as they are the strongest single sticker in the game, doing 45 damage. The main thing about this level is that it has a room with 4 paperization blocks. This room is incredibly helpful, as it makes farming for stronger stickers so much faster. Well, that's what I would say, if it wasn't just faster to run in and out of 1-1 and just put down individual stickers into that block slot. So yeah, that was kind of a waste of time. We could have just done that later. Also, I hate this block. Why is this here? There's no indication there's an invisible block here. Like, I don't get it. Give me anything. Kirsty doesn't even help. So after beating up the 3 shy guys in this level and stealing their puzzle pieces, I stick them into place and head back to World 3 to actually finish it. I take a trip back to World 3-5 to grab a tree stump for Wiggler's house and unlock our next level. 3-7 has us falling down a pit to save another Wiggler piece, but on the way we lose Kirsty, our hammer, and all of our stickers. Thankfully, we can basically get back every important sticker that we dropped by simply walking around and finding them. We grab some stickers and go fight the big scuttlebug. To do this fight while taking as little damage as possible, I use 4 range stickers to slowly break the web, and then once he falls, I hit him with one of the big shiny jump stickers. After defeating him, I save Kirsty and grab my hammer. Then I save the Wiggler piece, and after the piece runs away, I follow it to 3-8. Here, I take a dip into the poison swamp to grab the watch battery, and then run through the level to start combat with the Wiggler piece. I start by using Shiny Pow Block, as Pows always hit Wiggler, and if they happen to crumple, it's a guaranteed hit for the next attack. Sadly, it doesn't crumple, and Wiggler dodges my next 2 attacks. Such a waste of stickers. But with a 3rd Shiny Iron Jump, Wiggler goes down, and I grab the last tree stump. After placing it down, I head to 3-9. This level, lovingly named Gauntlet Pond, is full of poison lakes and platforming sections that are genuinely pretty fun. I grab another HP up heart here and also find a sponge. Then, after continuing through the platforming segments, I find the Wiggler piece and bring it to the end of the level, where, you guessed it, he ran to the next level. And this time, he runs to 3-10, and we get to see our Sniffit buddies. Man, I love these guys. They're like my favorite characters in this game. We get through each of the 3 mini-games pretty easily, and we get our Wiggler buddy back. I then go through one more game to get the radiator, and then nothing happens and we can take Wiggler back to Wiggler. No, of course he ran away. Why wouldn't he? He heads back to 3-2, the Bafflewood. Thankfully, I know exactly where he is. I enter combat with him and attempt to use a shiny ice flower to do solid damage. But something about the variety stickers, like shells and flowers, is that if you miss the action commands, they just have a chance to miss. These stickers, which are normally the best at doing AoE damage, all of a sudden suck because of how unreliable they are. On top of that, on the first turn, the Piranha Plant Dizzified Mario, making him straight up have a chance to just miss attacks anyway. On the next turn, I use a shiny Fire Flower and hit the front plant again. I'm pretty low after they all attack me some more, so I make sure to guaranteed kill the front guy with a POW block. But I'm still getting destroyed. Thankfully, the POW block did crumple the back Piranha, so he isn't gonna be hitting me this turn. I use another POW and it crumples the Wiggler, meaning that I also don't have to worry about it at all for the rest of the fight. And so, I finished the fight. Wiggler was hiding his prized bowling ball behind where we battled him, so I snatch it up, sling it, and get ready for my bowling debut. And yeah, I'm the best, what can I say? After getting my bowling ball back from the ball return, I head to 3-11 where I find that one toad again. But I'm not just gonna pay these guys to help him. Wait, maybe I should've. On the first turn, I used a line jump to hit both of them, and honestly, I did not realize until this playthrough that line jump will actually hit every enemy once, even without action commands. So, I hit them each, but then they start destroying me. And for some reason, I then decided to use the previously stated to be inconsistent shells to attack these guys, instead of the much more consistent line jump that would have just killed them. But after defeating them, I'm able to get to the end of the level. In 3-12, we have our last Wiggler combat against a Wiggler piece and 2 of the bloopers. This fight sucks. The Wiggler dodges my first 2 attacks against him, leaving me at incredibly low health once I actually finish it off due to the 2 bloopers just wearing me down. And because of this, I am unable to finish them off before they kill me. So I prepare a bit better by upgrading my shiny shell into a flashy shell. This game is nice because it has the same tier system that Mario Kart has. Blue shell is better than red shell, which is better than green shell. This time, I start the battle with the flashy shell, hitting both of the bloopers but not the Wiggler. He keeps dodging some attacks, but I'm able to eventually finish him off with a big shiny jump. And of course, we have to chase after the piece. But after picking up from school, we head back to Wiggler and get the family back together. With Wiggler back, I follow him to 3-12. Here, I discover that Wiggler is actually not connected to itself at all. You can literally walk between each segment. This is really making me think that my family comment wasn't actually a joke, and that each segment is truly its own entity with its own consciousness. Wait, is Wiggler a hive mind? Before getting here, I sling some pretty powerful things, including the sponge and the powder puff that we found in World 5-1. And now it's time for Gooper Blooper. I start the battle with some good thing stickers. I use a watch battery and get hit by the blooper. I then hit it with a POW block and successfully crumple him, skipping one of his turns but still progressing him through phases. I then use a slap hammer, which I was hoping would make him dizzy because I've seen that it can in past fights, but sadly it didn't. After this, Gooper does his best purple guy cosplay and charges up for his ultimate attack. But I put a sponge between me and him, and when he uses this ultimate attack, I reflect the poison back at him, causing him to take 30 damage every turn for the next 4 turns. In this state, he also loses his Royal Sticker defense buff, meaning that I can deal full damage to him. So I use a flashy clone jump to deal another big chunk of damage, and he begins to attack me. But while he's in the state of being poisoned, he is also blinded, making it where he can't actually ever hit us. So I get 3 free turns to deal as much damage as I want, dropping him to 75 health. At this point, his eyes are cleared and he's charging up for another attack. But just like the sponge, the powder puff has the ability to counter Gooper Blooper's attack. And so, with just one more attack and another proc of poison, Gooper Blooper goes down, and we get our 6th page of the sticker book, and our 3rd royal sticker. As I try to get to World 4, Bowser Jr. tries to stop us. I start by using another one of those watch batteries, and then another round of the Taylor shears to start destroying Jr. He pulls out a bomb, which is honestly just horribly irresponsible on Bowser's part for allowing him to have a bomb. I jump on Jr.'s head, causing the bomb to explode in both of our faces. I waste a turn with the hop slipper, and Jr. pulls out 2 more bombs. How is Bowser letting this happen? After I explode these 2 with a flashy jump sticker, Bowser Jr. heals, but I also heal twice as much, and he pulls out even more bombs. Where does he have these? How is he lighting them so easily? And how do bob-ombs control their fuse so they don't cause an explosion until they take damage? I have so many questions. I doubt Nintendo's even considering the logistics of this. Anyway, I blow up 2 more of the bombs, and he heals again. I use a shiny line jump to deal another 10 damage, and he pulls out another bomb. But I blow it up again. I take a turn to heal, and he pulls out 3? Well, I guess it's time. By the way, if you see me having thing stickers, just assume I went back and got them from the location that they were originally at, because that's why, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about all the individual things that I get every single time I get it. So, after going on another thing hunting spree, unlocking practically every secret room, and also getting another HP up heart, I head to World 4-1. Here, I use a fire flower to melt some ice cream, use the radiator from earlier to kickstart the destruction of the ozone layer, and grab a pipe for later. In 4-2, we climb up an ice slope, and during this, we grab a curling stone and an HP up heart. We continue to 4-3, and it's honestly one of my favorite levels in this game. The Enigma Mansion has some pretty fun little quirks, but overall is probably just my favorite place to come back to on repeat playthroughs. We have to collect a bunch of boos here, and most of them are pretty easy to get, all things considered. I can kinda just jump on the individual boos, and the groups of boos and enemies aren't much harder. I do also find some things here, including a refrigerator, an oven, a watering can, a stapler, and a cake. I continue capturing boos, and during the fight against the crumpled boo, I learned something very interesting and also very funny. Some thing stickers just don't deal damage. Well, without action commands, obviously. Of all the boo fights, the only one that was truly awful in this challenge was against the 88 stack of boos. No matter what you hit the stack with, they will only take 1 damage per hit. So the normal thing to do is just use the Infinijump sticker to hit them up to 100 times with 1 attack. But in this challenge, Infinijump is the worst jump sticker, dealing only 1 damage once. Well, maybe I could use some things. Maybe I could snip them up with some scissors. Nope. Maybe I could do like the Mega Sparkle Goomba and blow them all apart with the fan, making them take a ton of damage. Nope, try again. No matter what thing I try, it doesn't do any more than 1 damage. And I actually can't beat these guys right now, because I can't deal enough damage to them before they kill me, because the amount of stickers that I would need to kill them would mean that I wouldn't have enough space to have heals, and these guys do a ton of damage, so I need heals. So I'm gonna skip chapter 4 for now, so I can see if I can get something else to help me win this fight a bit easier. I've already completed 5-1 at this point, so let's move on to 5-2 and 3. These levels don't have any combat, just being a section where you have to dodge things in the river with physics similar to ice physics, and we do get to see our favorite fish. I also grabbed the Mega Flash Infinijump sticker, but like, 4 slots for literally 3 damage just isn't worth anything. 5-4 has some more Mega Sparkle stickers, but all of them suck. The few good things that we find in this level are a flashy shell, which is just solid AoE damage when it actually hits, and the teapot, which is just behind the tailor shears on damage. The last thing in this level is to wake up this Chain Chomp to be able to reach the end of the level. So I waste a bunch of those useless Mega Flash stickers, let him wake up, and then I head to 5-5. Here, I attempt to revert my contribution to global warming by freezing an entire volcano. Then, I get some turkey to celebrate. I also grab another type of sponge, some Mega Flash stickers, and then head on out. In 5-6, our favorite sparkly sticker-themed partner gets eaten, and we have to traverse a volcano to save her. I get on a platform to head up, but it overshoots, and we're gonna have to get 3 Chain Chomps to land on this platform before we can save Kirsty. The first one is easy. I simply walk over and coax it onto the platform. Second one, however, is a pain. He is awake, and we have to first put him to sleep, then leave the battle, then hit his post, and finally wait until he wakes up and jumps at us to get onto the platform. But there is an issue. I may be missing something, but the Ba Hammer is seemingly unable to put the Chain Chomp to sleep unless you actually hit an action command. I have seen other types of hammers successfully cause their status effects during this challenge, but I tried over 40 times to put this guy to sleep, and not a single Ba Hammer did it. I don't know if it's specifically against this guy or if the Ba Hammer can't do it at all. Well, there goes the intended solution, but I might have another solution. We have the bed thing. This thing puts enemies to sleep for 4 turns. Wait. Oh, apparently it also puts Mario to sleep? Well, that should still be fine, right? Well, no, because it puts Mario to sleep for the same amount of turns as the enemy, which means that we never have a turn to run before the Chain Chomp wakes up. Normally you would mash A to wake up Mario before the animation ends, but obviously we can't do that. But maybe we can work around this. The sponge things block all damage, so maybe it'll block the status effect and that will help. Nope, as when you use a thing sticker, the sponge goes away. Wait, I think I've got it. The poison mushroom. If I poison myself before I use the bed, I'll take damage after falling asleep and wake up. Except, the game doesn't allow multiple statuses. The newest debuff will just overwrite the old one unless I believe it's the same debuff. So, we are unable to get this guy to fall asleep, and no other things are useful at this point. Wait, maybe, just maybe, the leaf. The leaf is probably the most unused sticker in the game, causing Mario to succeed his action commands while the leaf is on his head without any input from the player. So by using the leaf, I will be able to successfully use the Ba Hammer. This feels kinda cheap, since it's still kind of an action command, but it's not technically me doing it, so... Oh, it falls off on the same turn as you use it. But, if I decide that this is my one use of the Battle Spinner, I could actually do it. Except, we don't have Kirsty, so we can't use the Battle Spinner. I hate to say it, but unless someone can show me an action commandless Ba Hammer putting the Chain Chomp to sleep, then I will just have to consider this challenge to be impossible. I can't believe we got Iron Clefted in a completely different Paper Mario game. This game really just stopped me in my tracks every time I thought I had an idea to get past this guy. I can't believe the required use of an action command is against an enemy you can't even kill. But I can't let this get me down. We have to save Kirsty. So after grabbing some more health, I begin the battle. I start by using a fan to deal 25 damage and take a hit. Then I start using some POW blocks to try to knock him over. If the POW block crumples him, I am then able to deal damage directly to his belly button, which causes the attack to deal double damage. And this is the perfect time to use the Mega Flash Clone Jump, and so I do, dealing 160 damage with one sticker. Using the Clone Jump causes a Dry Bones to appear, but my Paper Fan does good against it. Wait, is that what y'all are? Are y'all fans of paper? I mean, paper is pretty cool, so it's understandable. I keep hitting Petey with things and slowly bring his health down. He eventually hits me with a spin attack, but this causes him to get dizzy, and so I knock him over, expose his belly button one last time, and then hit him with my super strong Mega Flash Infini Jump, which causes him to spit up Kirsty and leaves him at 2 HP. Finally, I overkill him a lot with a basic flashy clone jump. This gives us access to our 7th sticker page and gives us one more royal sticker. And you know what? During all this, I didn't actually find anything to help with that stack of boos from earlier. Well, except for that extra page. That extra page is actually the thing that we needed. So we did find something. I go back to Decalberg and grab 88 jump stickers from the shop and some mushrooms. I very slowly bring down the boo's health, healing up whenever I get low. But near the end, I do realize that there is a single way to do more than 1 damage per turn against this guy. It's with our favorite sticker, the Poison Mushroom. This poisons Mario, but if the enemy comes into contact with him, they become poisoned as well. This means I can hit them with both a jump and the tick of poison for a few more turns. It's not really worth it because it's only 1 extra damage per active poison turn, but it does help us in the end. All other boo fights are easy, so I move right on to the boss. Another boo, but bigger. This fight starts out promising. I deal a huge 40 damage chunk with the teapot, but then the lights turn on and the boo goes invisible. In response, I set up a powder puff to make sure I can't be damaged, and then I use a mini vac to turn out the lights again. And really, this powder puff has completely invalidated this boo, as I can just cook him in an oven and smite him with a tiny battery, defeating him and allowing me to continue on to the next level. 4-5 is a ski lift. That's it. It's kind of just a 2-minute level that you just dodge in. After reaching the top and finishing the level, I go find some more things, and also head back to 1-4, the level in World 1 that I skipped. I do this because there's a big buzzy beetle here that is guarding yet another HP up heart. So I defeat it and go sling a bunch of things, including a large amount of fire-based things. Then, I go to 4-6, save that toad again, ride a roller coaster, and begin my battle against the Bowser Snow Statue. He starts with some snow armor equipped, which I destroy using the radiator. And this boss's form of resistance is its snow armor, so after his armor goes down, I could still deal normal damage afterwards. But I just use a lot of fire stuff, which kinda goes around it anyway. The oven does a ton of damage, as all heat-based stickers do twice as much damage to this guy. He attacks me, but with my large health pool, I'm doing perfectly fine. I boost my next attack with the boombox and hit him with a lighter to do another 99 damage. Sadly, after this attack, my boombox buff goes away, as without action commands, it only lasts for 2 turns. Next, I use a box of matches and a hairdryer to bring this guy down to 121 health. I am definitely getting low at this point, but I drop an oil drum on his head and break apart the snow statue, revealing a little guy. At this point though, I'm down to 10 HP, but this guy only does 10 damage per turn, so by using a 1-up mushroom, I can completely cancel out his damage, as it makes me heal 10 per turn for 10 turns. And so, after a few more turns of using things, Mr. Blizzard goes down. This gives me another royal sticker and my last sticker sheet. With all of this done, I head up from the pier and pull off a cliff face, revealing Bowser's castle. Sadly, it floats away and I don't really have a way to go after it, except Wiggler transformed into a Flutter. And so, with Flutter's help, I head to 6-1 to fight Bowser Jr., and after a bit of prep and some platforming to reach him, I begin battle. This fight's incredibly stupid without action commands. Bowser Jr. has a bubble around him that causes him to take way less damage from attacks. He gets the stupid 50% damage reduction buff that world bosses get. The way you're supposed to do this fight involves using the tail sticker that you find in this level to launch his spike balls back at him, which lower his max HP by 50 for each ball you reflect. But the tail is a useless sticker if you never use an action command, meaning we cannot use the intended strategy to defeat Bowser Jr. This actually caused me to lose to him a couple of times due to this fight just being that stupid, but eventually I do figure it out. As with all bosses, Junior's defense buff can be avoided by using thing stickers. This doesn't make the fight any less scary, however, as Junior can do upwards of like 30-ish damage depending on how he's feeling. With this in mind, I bought some flashy mushroom stickers, which heal 80 HP without action commands as opposed to the 99 they would otherwise. Every 50 damage I deal, Bowser Jr. loses 50 max HP, and when he's down to 100, he loses the bubble, making me able to do max damage to him. So I smack him with a basin, blind him with a flashlight, and let my pet goat nibble at him for a little bit. Just a little snack. Bowser Jr. has been attacking me this whole time and I'm low again, so I set up a sponge shield and then do my best Guitar Hero cosplay, finishing the fight with the power of my paper fans. Finally, 6-2. There are 2 bosses in this level. Both of them scare me. Our final fight against Kamek begins with him turning all of our stickers into basic slippers, meaning that we don't get nearly as much damage as we did before. On top of this, Kamek splits himself into 3, making it incredibly difficult to hit him, as there is often a clone in front of him. I was worried going into this fight because I couldn't remember how often Kamek splits. If he were to do it every round and always be the back one, I would never be able to hit him due to me only getting to use 1 sticker per round, and that means I could only hit the front target every turn. But thankfully he doesn't do it every round. This still makes it hard, however, as I have to use the big stickers to take out the clones, and I only have a limited number of those. On top of that, he can fly into the air and make himself impossible to hit. But something that I didn't know is that he actually splits his own HP into the clones, always trying to give them up to 4 HP each. So, since he already did this once, he starts the fight at 12 HP, and when he does it again, he's down to 4. So, if I can get through the clones, I can defeat him. But he has another quirk to this fight. Every now and then, he will delete some stickers on the page of the sticker book that I'm currently on. So that makes it scary, as we're on an even tighter time crunch than before, and I need to hit him with my strong stickers that take up more space on the page, meaning that they have a higher chance of getting deleted. I mistake a clone for the real Kamek and fail to use the strong enough sticker to defeat it. On top of that, both immediately go into the air, but thankfully, they don't attack, instead going after my stickers again. I defeat another clone, and Kamek tries to summon more. But he doesn't have enough HP to do so and kind of fizzles out. And so, after one more attack, Kamek goes down, with me having only 5 HP remaining. Before going into the final boss, I make sure I am fully prepared. I get to max HP and grab all the things that I could possibly need. Now, this fight was genuinely incredibly hard, and it wasn't necessarily because of the fact that I was dying or anything. This fight just sucks in this challenge way more than any other, and it's because, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I had to plan a route out. There are multiple situations in this fight that are incredibly difficult to deal with. First, we have to deal with the constant enemies coming from the doors in Phase 1. But this is actually pretty easy, as the stapler, the thumbtack, and the tape can all completely lock these doors. The tape is obviously the best option out of these, as it takes up the least space in our sticker book and does the exact same thing in this scenario as the other two. This was the easiest part of the fight. Then, we have the hardest part of the fight. This stupid Womp. The way you normally defeat this guy is by knocking him over with the E-Hammer, and then you can cut him up with literally any scissors type thing sticker. But the E-Hammer doesn't do that unless you hit an action command. So what can we do instead? Well, this guy has 50 health and takes 1 damage per hit, no matter what the attack is. So that means we need to hit this guy 50 times while not dying to him and Bowser. Both Bowser and the Womp do 10 damage each per turn, and the Womp has a chance on every attack to crumple Mario, stunning him for 2 turns and making him take double damage until he uncrumples. This means that I would have to hit this guy over the course of 50 turns to deal with him, and just hope that I never get crumpled, because that is basically a death sentence. But I did think of a workaround for this. I can use the flashy clone jump sticker. This cuts the number of turns needed to kill it down to 13. But I also bring along the high heels thing sticker, which is a pretty solid thing sticker normally, but in this challenge it does 6 individual hits. This lets us knock off 1 more turn off the total, as 11 clone jumps gets us to 44, and then 6 from the heel gets us the rest of the way. So, with a combination of these stickers and some flashy mushrooms for when I get really low, I have the section solved. The next section is way easier. Bowser runs to an area with Potoboos that he uses to attack. But this section can be done entirely with 2 stickers and with no damage taken. By using any ice type thing sticker, you can freeze all of the Potoboos. With the Potoboos frozen, you are able to use them to deal damage to Bowser by using any type of wind based sticker. And you are able to finish this phase off with the 2 weakest versions of these types of stickers. So with Shaved Ice and a Bellows, you can literally use 2 stickers to take the entire phase down damageless. Finally, the other difficult phase. Bowser's final phase has him with a Chain Chomp buddy. This doesn't seem that hard, as it's basically just the same as the Womp from earlier, except it's actually seemingly easier because Bowser isn't untargetable unlike the Womp section. Except, I can't ever target Bowser, because the targeting in this game is a little bit stupid. When using multiple attacks per turn, the targeting always auto-locks onto the first enemy for the first sticker, the second enemy for the second sticker, and the third enemy with the third sticker. But since I'm not using the battle spinner, I am forever stuck using the first sticker on the first enemy. And in this case, that is the Chain Chomp, which just like the other Chain Chomps in Sticker Star, is unable to be damaged by anything. So, we have no way to directly attack Bowser. Well, except with stickers that hit everyone, like most thing stickers. So, this phase has to be done exclusively with AoE thing stickers. The Chain Chomp has 100 HP even if it can't be damaged, which means that of the 350 health that shows up, we only have to deal 250 damage to Bowser to finish this phase. And this is the part where I show you that I wrote down literally every single step of this fight as if it was a battle in Pokemon Run and Gun. Like, I literally had a sticky note on the side that was all the damage values of every single thing sticker in the game, and I was optimizing exactly what kind of things I would need to win the fight with as few things as possible. Because genuinely, I was having to make use of my sticker book to maximum value. So with this in mind, and now that I've discussed every segment, I can go over the fight as a whole. I start by taping the enemies in Bowser, immediately followed by a teapot and a turkey to put him into phase 2. I then use a combination of clone jumps, heals, and a high heal to defeat the Womp. Then I deal another 120 damage to get Bowser down to 230 HP, which is the exact threshold you need to push him into phase 3. Phase 3 is easily defeated by the Shaved Ice and the Bellows. Finally, where it all comes together. Keep in mind that I'm using heals throughout this entire process. I start with a fridge, then burn some matches. I then use a rubber duck to deal another 35 damage. Then I cook him with my oven and bomb him with a trophy bowling ball. I then use a cell phone to lower him to exactly 90 HP. This puts him in range for me to use a boombox to double my next attack's damage, and then use the Tailor Shears to do 90 damage in a single hit, causing the screen to flash white and making Bowser teleport to the edge where he falls off. But this was only half the fight, as Bowser comes back even stronger. He immediately crumples me with my first attack, and so after barely surviving, I use a shiny 1-up to keep myself afloat. This battle is where the rest of my planning comes into play. Kirsty turns herself into a sticker and I go into action. She forces a battle spin on me, giving me access to 5 stickers per turn, but I'm gonna keep using 1. At this point, I use my abnormal amount of flashy clone jumps that I bought from 4-4 to start taking down Bowser. After a few attacks on his right hand, it breaks. Occasionally, Bowser breathes fire at me. When he does this, it burns away 4 of the stickers on the page that I am currently on. Normally, I would have no way to subvert this, as soon as you choose your 1 sticker, you can't switch to another page before you attack. But thanks to Kirsty and her 4 extra sticker slots, the game allows me to move off of any pages that have stickers on them before I go into action each turn, meaning I am never in danger of losing stickers. I did not expect to have to micromanage my sticker album in this fight. After a few more attacks on his left hand, it too goes down, and here's where all the planning came into play. Bowser's middle section cannot be damaged by clone jumps, which are the most space efficient damage in the game. This means that I had to figure out approximately how many clone jumps I needed to finish off Bowser so that I would not waste too much room on a sticker that would end up being useless. And so, I begin using my remaining stickers. I burn them like an ant, and it's up to my iron jumps. The stickers that helped us so early on is gonna be what takes us home for this challenge. And so after 7 iron jumps, we defeat Bowser. While this challenge couldn't be fully done, it really felt like all the important parts were able to be done. That Chain Chomp was never going to be defeated in the first place. Again, if anyone's able to figure out how to deal with that Chain Chomp, I would love that. Anyway, see y'all around.